Kisuk Wislam, Kisuk Kukit, Kisuk Quiet, Kapiniskis, Hugakit Kanjukat Tasmiat. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another wonderful Warrior Wednesdays. I'm your host, Kanjukat Tasmiat, which translates from Tunacha into English. It means Night Runner. And this week, I want to talk about a subject I haven't really actually touched on very much. And that's because, I myself am healing a lot. And I am working on myself, and I'm trying to bring my best fold into certain situations that I can, and that's what I talk about in these podcasts. The only thing I ever talk about is the things that I'm actually doing in my own life, the journey that I'm on. And I talked about it a little while ago. It is playoff hockey, and for some Canadians, playoff hockey gets intense for some fans, and it's like some different atmosphere. It's like NFL for the playoff season as well. NFL season gets intense for some fans, and so this week, starting today, actually will be, as this Wednesday, the very first game is the Canucks and no other than the Edmonton Oilers. So what does that have to do anything with the relationships? You're asking yourself, Peter, what does it have to do with relationships? How's this like anything to do with a relationship? Well, a relationship is about growing. A healthy relationship is about understanding your partner and trying to grow and, look at their perspective of life and coming into a relationship full or not full, but close to being healed, being on that journey of working on yourself and being transparent and being open and honest about everything, just being vulnerable. And vulnerability, a lot of people use that word, and not a lot of people actually truly understand what vulnerability is. All vulnerability is just, saying, I messed up like this, this is what's wrong with me, I need to work on this, I don't get this, I don't understand this, can you help me? It's just being open and honest. That's all vulnerability is. You don't have to, vulnerability doesn't only mean like you're crying and you're emotional, and like it means that you express things you don't know, being honest. And and this playoff series is taking a lot. Well, it's not taking a lot, but I'm growing a lot because Canucks and Oilers fans don't like each other's teams. Like majority of Oilers fans don't like Canucks fans, like the Canucks, and majority of Canuck fans don't like the Edmonton Oilers. And what's kind of ironic, this is how it ties into this relationship, is that that I'm a Canucks fan, right? So how does this have anything to do with it? Well, Brooke, on the other hand, my partner, she is a die-hard Oilers fan. Yes, she's a die-hard, she grew up in Edmonton, she grew up in Alberta. She's a die-hard Oilers fan. Her dad, her family are like big-time Oilers fans. So, it's going to be a very interesting series, because myself, a Canucks fan, it's just in our blood as Canucks fans not to like Edmonton Oilers, just because they play each other so often, and there's just bad blood. It's just rivalry between sports, right? Between teams. It's kind of like Calgary and Edmonton. They're a little worse, on that aspect, but They're Seattle Kraken. I don't know, Kraken. I think it's Seattle Kraken, and they're just 3 hours south. But Seattle Kraken is still too new for Vancouver to have that that rivalry blood, that bad blood between them. But the Canucks and Oilers got some bad blood going on there, and it's funny. I just all over my social media, that's all I see right now. Is just like Oilers fans chirping Canucks fans and Canucks fans chirping back, and like, it's just funny because I've even gone down and I've said a few things, and it's just all fun and games, and in a relationship when things like this arise, differences, that's where growth is going to happen, and for Brooke, she's good. Like she's she's in a bit better of a place than me when it comes to it. She doesn't take it as serious as I do with sports, and she was supportive when the Canucks won on the game, and then like I was watching the Oilers and I wasn't as supportive at first. I was kind of chirping them and like, oh, they cheated and blah blah blah, and like, just typical sports egotistical guy thing. It's just, I think it's in the guys, men, just to get worked up over sports for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it's just the way it is. And yeah, we are going to game 1 tonight together. But I was thinking about it the other day, and I was as I was stretching and getting my morning going before I was meditating, and I thought about it. In a relationship, you can either be against each other or for each other. Like think of a tennis game. A tennis game, there's 2 styles, singles or doubles. You can either be singles competing against each other in a relationship, or you can be, on doubles and working together as a team to win. And that's the way I thought about it, and this is a lot of growth for me. You don't understand, but yeah, the dynamics of being a Canucks fan and like having friends who are Oilers fans, and Oilers fans always chirping Canucks fans, and it's gone on for years. So for me, it's a lot of growth. And then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let this affect me at all, because, as a team together playing doubles on that field, one of our teams are going to win. That's just how sports are. Sports are, there always has to be a winner and there always has to be a loser. But in a relationship, some people will treat their relationships that same way. When they get into a fight, they think they have to win. They think they have to be like, you think about it, you fight and fight to be right, and then you upset your partner and you hurt your partner and they lose. So are you really winning if your partner is losing? And that's a big thing to think on and reflect on. And not a lot of people will actually sit there and reflect on that style of relationship. They don't think about it as working together. You think that they're going head to head. When you get in an argument, you have to ask yourself, hey, what am I really trying to achieve out of this argument? Am I just trying to argue to win? Or I'm trying to make this relationship better? Am I trying to argue to make it better for the both of us? Or am I just trying to get one up on my partner? And if you're just trying to one up your partner and win, your relationship will eventually decay and crumble and fall apart. Because when you keep hitting each other, you keep bumping heads or colliding, eventually pieces start to break off. It starts to break, wear down. Well, that's like your relationship. It'll start to break and wear down, and like it's never ends well that way. But if you switch it and say, hey, you know what? My partner, we're on the same team. We're both trying to fight for the right, the same thing. We're just looking at it a different way, and we have to believe that our way is the only way, or the right way. And that's our egos talking. And when you get mindful and look at it as a team together, you look at what you're arguing about, and sometimes the way you're trying to bring your message across isn't a team mentality. It's a I, myself mentality. I want to win. I'm going to win. Blah, 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 So just take a look, take a step back, and ask yourself that simple question. If you're in a relationship, or when you get in a relationship, it's not about, not fighting. It's about how you can fight together, and it got pretty, like, Brooke and I have never fought before, we never, but it did get a little heated the other night when we were watching the playoffs. And then that's when I had to take a step back and ask myself, whoa, what am I really trying to fight for here? If her team wins, then I win, because in a relationship she's happy. And that makes me happy because she's winning, which means we're both winning. And if you're in the same situation as me, where your partner and you are sports fanatics and you have different teams you enjoy and they play each other once in a while, well, that's a good way to look at it. Is one of you guys, like, as a team together, you're gonna win no matter what. No matter who loses, you're both gonna win as a team if you look at it as a team. And it just allowed me to be more mindful, allowed me to not, chirp so much. And I told her that I thought about it, and it's a good growth step. And this is what this has to do with relationships, playoff hockey and life. And it's funny how I talk about that, right? But it's the things that I talk about are the things that I'm going through, and I'm currently literally going through these things right now because I want this relationship to last. I want it to work, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to explain to you and talk to you as a community on how to fight for each other, to fight with each other, as a team. Because, fights are inevitable in relationships. It's just, if you look at the outcome on what you want, is ultimately going to decide what happens, right? So fight together as a team, not singles, not trying to be right. Because you might be right, but in the long run, you're hurting your partner because they're losing, and they get upset, or they, it's not really a win in the long run if you just end up breaking up and you keep repeating that cycle through your whole life. So yeah, it's gonna be a great game tonight. I'm going in happy, gonna have fun, just enjoy it, be in the moment. I've never been to a playoff hockey game in my life. I've been to football playoff games, I've been to regular season hockey games, but I've never been to a playoff game. And like the Canucks Rogers Arena is just something else, during the playoff series. And that's what I heard, because last time the Canucks had a run at the cup, I was a different person. I was an alcoholic at the time. I was partying. I didn't have much money in my bank account. I didn't have that cash flow to be able to spend. And Vancouver is not a cheap city. It's not a cheap city at all. It's a pretty pricey city to live in and to enjoy, but I love it, for this time of my life. And I just didn't have the time. I had the time, I just didn't have the money before. Now that I have the money, And I was thinking about it. I was like, we should go. It's a good experience for Brooke and me because this may never happen again, because life, you never know what brings your way, right? And the Canucks and Oilers, even though they play each other throughout the season many times, this is actually the third time that they've ever came up against each other in the Western Finals, in the Western Conference Finals. So that's pretty cool that it's the third time. And I believe whatever team wins here is going to end up going to win the cup for Canada. And as a team, with my partner, I'm okay with that no matter who wins. And so fight together as a team. And your relationship will start to flourish. Learn how to fight. Learn how to ask yourself that question. What do I really want out of this? So I challenge you to do that for now. For now and forever. Next time you get into a fight with your partner, a friend, whoever, family member, think about it. What am I trying to fight for? This doesn't always have to do with just a relationship with a partner. Like, it could be any kind of ship, friendship, family, kinship. When you get into a fight, ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve out of this? And it might save you a lot of heartache in the end. So with that, I'm going to log off, go enjoy my hockey game later on today. Sukani, Dagas, have a great day, everyone. Have a great week. Next week, I won't be uploading Warrior Wednesdays. I got to take a week off. I'm out of town for the week. I'm doing workshops back home in my Tunaka lands. So if I can find a space, I might sit down and maybe upload. But if not, I will be doing a vlog from my home powwow though. So be tuned for that. I'll bring you around there. And so if I don't post next week, just know that it'll be the week after. So Sukani, Dagas, have an amazing 2 weeks. Remember, everything always happens for the right reasons. Take care, all my warriors.